In example 2, we're asked to solve the logarithmic equation -2 log base 4 of x equals log base 4 of 9. So in this equation, we have the x appearing as the argument of the logarithm. So we're going to solve this and isolate the variable. We're going to have to take it out of that logarithm. So we do have two logarithms equal to each other, but before we can set their arguments equal, we've got to remove this -2 in the front. So the property only works if it's just a plain log with no coefficient equal to a plain log with no coefficient. So we've got to remove this -2. So remember, we have that rule that allows us to bring this up into the exponent of our argument. So we'll move it up there, and that will give us log base 4 of x to the -2 equals log base 4 of 9. Now we have a logarithm equal to another logarithm, and they have the same base, so we can set the arguments equal. So x to the -2 equals 9. Well, x to the -2, remember, that's the reciprocal of x squared. So we take the reciprocal, so 1 over x squared equals 9. And then a couple different ways to look at it. We could cross multiply, or we could multiply both sides by the least common denominator, because we've got to get that variable out of the denominator. So if we multiply both sides by x squared, we'll get 1 equals 9x squared. And now we just need to divide by 9 to get that x squared by itself. And then we can take the square root to take the squared off of that, x. So we're going to get the square root of 1/9, we know is 1/3, so we have plus and minus 1/3. So now we've got to check our answers and make sure that when we substitute back in, that we don't end up taking the log of a negative number. So we've got our 1/3. So if we put the 1/3 in here for x, we'd be okay, the positive. But the negative, that would be a log base 4 of -1/3. So we can't do log of a negative. So if you have your two answers here, 1/3 and -1/3, we've got to exclude that -1/3, not because -1/3 is negative in and of itself, but when it's substituted back in, it ends up with a negative argument. So we have to exclude this. And if you just want to make a note here, that's because the argument would be negative. So our answer is just the positive 1/3. Now we can check our solution on our calculator by graphing the left and the right side of the equation. So I will let my y1 be our -2 log base 4 of x. But remember, our calculator can't evaluate base 4, so we'll have to write this in the equivalent form using the change of base formula. So we've got the -2, and now we want to write log of x, or common log of x, over log of 4. And then for y2, instead of log base 4 of 9, we're going to have to rewrite that with, again, either a base of e or a base of 10. So log 9 over log 4. So these are what I'm going to graph in my calculator. Okay, so the first one, -2 times log x, and then divided by log 4. And then our second equation, we want log 9 divided by log 4. So I'll graph here on a standard viewing window, zoom standard first, and see if we can get a good shape here. There's one of the ramp shapes, or that is the ramp shape. And there's that horizontal line. Because we remember again, y1, there's an x in our argument. This is actually a logarithmic graph, a ramp shape. But this one, there's no variables over here. Log of 9 and log of 4, those are just constant values. So this is going to be the horizontal line. So we're expecting that they intersect when x is 1/3, and that certainly looks reasonable here. So we can check to be sure. So let's calculate second trace, our intersection, option 5. Okay, so it's asking, is this our first curve? -2 log x over log 4. Yes, hit enter. Now, we want to go to our, hit enter there. Oh, we're off of the graph here. We've got to arrow over a little bit until we're onto it. There was no y value there. We got to arrow over onto it. There we go. Now we're on the ramp shape, and hit enter. And then the second curve, is it log 9 over log 4? Yes. Hit enter. And then one more time. And then we can see that our intersection is in fact 1/3, 0.3 repeating. So I'm going to again drag this screenshot into our notes here, but you may want to sketch a little picture of this in your notes as well.